Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be looking at messages from your ancestors. And ancestors can pertain to passed on loved ones, people that you know or that you know of. These can be people from your more distant lineage, perhaps that you've heard the names of, or people that were even kind of lost to the sands of time. This can even relate to ancestors of your soul, people that you have incarnated with in previous lifetimes, who remain with you in spirit to guide you in your journey in this incarnation. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Angelite, along with these cards. Group 2 is the Stichtite, along with these cards. And group 3 is the Carnelian, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. Unless you like to listen to the shuffling in between groups, some kind of ASMR for you, then that's fine too. So I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Angelite, along with these cards, which I'll take a look at in a minute. This will be some of the messages and kind of the guidance from your ancestors. So I'm going to start with some tarot to kind of get a feel for who's coming through in this reading, who wants to deliver some kind of messages or guidance to you. I'll try to get some clues about maybe a specific person, a passed on loved one that you know of, or some clues about kind of what side of the family this ancestor or these ancestors originate from. Again, this could be kind of a soul ancestor as well. If none of this sounds like anybody that you know that is passed on, this can be someone you've incarnated with in previous lifetimes who accompanies you in this lifetime as kind of a spirit guide. Okay, so we've got the 5 of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. 10 of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Page of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The Star, which is Aquarius. And 7 of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So with the 10 of Swords, this could be somebody in your family who passed away very suddenly. This might have been something where it wasn't necessarily a long kind of drawn out illness, but again, something, either some kind of an accident that happened or just something very suddenly that happened with their health, maybe even some kind of a diagnosis that they got and then they were gone very quickly after that. It's left a lot of kind of devastation and disruption in your family. It's been with the Five of Cups, this has been a very difficult situation to come to terms with, to really get over. There's a lot of feminine energy coming through here, so this could be a grandmother figure or a mother figure that's coming through. I'm also getting a strong indication of an aunt, somebody who was young when this happened as well. Somebody that might have just kind of been in the prime of their life, had really just kind of had the future ahead of them. There was a lot of hopeful prospects. A lot of people were expecting really great things out of this person, and then to have their life almost perceivably be cut short, or that kind of the impact that this person made, even in sort of this short period of time, it was very significant. Somebody who has left kind of a lasting impression, a good impression, someone who is, considered to be a lot of people consider themselves lucky to have known this person, even in sort of this short period of time in which, they had to kind of spend in this incarnation on the earth plane, that they made the most of that time. They made a very large impact. But again, this feeling of loss and sorrow, because there was so much more that everyone had kind of expected of this person. The future looked very bright. And there's a sense also of sorrow about if they had had more time, what they could have accomplished, or maybe even the nature of whatever this kind of condition or an illness or a situation. There's a sense of, if there had just been some more time, maybe the situation could have turned around. This could have even been somebody that passed away a while ago, and because of kind of developments in medicine or in technology, that now at this point in time, there's almost solutions in place where the prognosis would have been a little more hopeful. The odds would have been a little better than whatever time period this was in which this death occurred, that the technology just wasn't what it is now. The medical knowledge wasn't what it is now. The cures, the remedies, or the treatments available just wasn't what it is now. With the Seven of Wands, this could be somebody who was definitely a fighter, somebody who really fought for certain causes, maybe social justice causes, somebody who had a very fiery personality, a very large presence, somebody who might have even been quite soft-spoken, but just their very presence when they walked in the room commanded some kind of authority, some kind of attention. This could have been somebody who, again, really wanted to be the voice for the voiceless, some kind of cause that this person felt very strongly about. This could be somebody who, really fought for the underdog, or really kind of sought to sort of bring to light and create hope to people in situations that might have been kind of dire prognosis, sort of in dire straits. Somebody who really helped to restore hope to the hopeless. Somebody who might have worked in some kind of a capacity as a counselor, a healer, or even something in the medical profession in and of themselves. They may have even been studying toward these things, again, at this period of time where sort of their life was cut short. There's a sense as well of this person's memory still, again, being very strong in the hearts and minds of people that knew them. This could be somebody who, still as part of your tradition, part of your family, the anniversary of this person's death could be a very difficult day to deal with, no matter how much time has passed since they have transitioned to the other side. Similarly, their birthday or significant kind of dates or anniversaries could be very, very difficult, again, for a lot of people to really come to terms with. And it feels a lot of that in conjunction with the nature of how they passed, and kind of the fact that they were younger when they passed. All of this has been very difficult to deal with. It's been something that has been very trying. It's created a lot of stress and difficulties in the family or within you. It's been kind of a struggle to sort of pick the pieces back up in your life in conjunction with, whatever this was that occurred, that this remains with you. Some days it's definitely a fight to kind of pick yourself out of that stance of grief and to carry forth with what you need to do. This could be somebody as well that some kind of a legacy or a foundation has been established in their honor, or this has been something that you've considered doing, almost taking up the mantle and picking up the work where this person left off. Or there's been talk or discussion about this, or you've been nudged in this direction to do something in honor of this person. There may even be sort of honorary tribute gifts that you give to a certain cause, something related to maybe some kind of an illness or a condition that they had, or something that they believed very strongly in. And so it's kind of an annual thing. It's a process of sort of honoring this person by, again, kind of seeking to further the work that they were doing, or to, again, make some kind of a monetary donation in their name, in the interest of that cause, so that even in death, they are still in a way kind of pumping energy or attention, at least in their namesake, into whatever it is that they felt so strongly about and that they were really fighting for. With this energy of defensiveness as well, this can be something that, even if this was very sudden, the means of their passing, this could have been someone who fought very hard in that, somebody who, again, had this fighter spirit, and it might have been quite a short period of time, very sudden, between diagnosis and passing. But in that period of time, in that window of time, this person sought to squeeze every ounce of life that they could out of what time remained to them. Or if they were in some kind of medical facility or a situation like that, then they really were fighting. Even if it was from kind of a stance of, maybe being sort of incapacitated or in kind of a comatose state, that there was still this fight within this person. They were just not willing to kind of let go. And that might have made it, very difficult for everyone to kind of watch this and witness this, how much this person was still so attached to life, and yet circumstances, kind of physical circumstances, something to do with their body, that happened to their body, had really kind of pulled that. So this fight between the spirit and the physicality, that, just really, again, somebody who was a fighter in life, and even up to that very last moment was kind of fighting to kind of hold on to this life or this incarnation as much as they could. Stars could be very significant to this connection and to this person. Star could be a name. You could resonate as a star seed. You could, this person might have been really interested in space or astronomy. Even interested in, say, aliens and extraterrestrials. They may have considered themselves a star seed. Somebody who also, you're seeing a lot of maybe shooting stars as kind of signs of this person, that when you see that, it almost, you feel that connection with them kind of at night, kind of while looking up at the stars as well. And there may have also been a connection to nature. This person definitely could have had some kind of a green thumb, or there's a sense that whatever they touched really flourished. They could have had a very healing presence. Again, that energy of kind of a counselor was coming out here, somebody who was working towards something in a medical profession. But this could also just be something that in general they were, really good at gardening, or very good at making even the most dire circumstances beautiful. Somebody who was able to really turn around energies of a situation and circumstances. Somebody who may have also overcome a lot of personal obstacles within their life. Somebody who had kind of always been a fighter. And when they had kind of reached that sort of pinnacle of things turning around, themselves really being on top, starting to really build something for themselves out of, maybe some kind of difficult beginnings or a difficult chapter earlier in their life. This could have even been some kind of a condition that they had been diagnosed with and they had fought through, and it had gone into remission, or they had overcome, and things looked good, things looked stable, there was hope there, only to kind of have this circle back around and, just to continue to fight to the end. But to sort of lose that kind of battle ultimately. This could be something also where for some of you, this is someone where kind of again, like a tribute, like a plaque or something to do with like a park bench, something out in nature. Maybe even the place where this person has been buried. It's a, kind of a wild and natural place as opposed to kind of like a well-manicured sort of lawn or cemetery. You may have spread their remains somewhere in nature. You may feel very connected to them in nature. And dragonflies are also really coming through as a symbol of this person. I'm also getting the name Ivy. So that could be, or Flora, that could be something very significant to this situation for you. So now I'm going to take a look at these cards and see what is the guidance from this ancestor, from this passed on loved one. What do they want to let you know today? And we've got family connections, respect, people, kinship. Relationships. Relationships are just mirror images of your own life. How you feel and treat yourself, as well as how you react and respond to different situations and people around you. Be aware that every relationship is an opportunity for soul growth. White Witch, be the light. Tempo, rhythm maker. And manifestation. So to start with, on this White Witch card, we have this image of the ivy. So again, that can be something very significant in terms of a name, maybe of somebody, or this can also really talk about kind of ivy is a plant that, you know, will sort of make a way where there is none. Ivy is able to really transcend obstacles and circumstances, is able to really, you know, climb the sides of buildings and sort of wrap itself around, kind of integrate itself into whatever environment and conditions it is presented with in order to flourish, to make itself known, to create a space for itself. And so the guidance with that, in conjunction with this idea of family connections and relationships, you might be going through a period of time right now where you're having a lot of strain in your relationships, maybe relationships with family, with this idea of rhythm maker and tempo, your kind of path in life, your course in life, maybe your belief systems, maybe you know, resonate as a witch, or you are kind of interested in, you know, spirituality, or maybe some new age beliefs that could be quite different from perhaps a traditional background that you grew up in. And it's something that is not necessarily being responded to very pleasantly by your family. It's something where there's a little bit of kind of fear or hesitation on your part as far as stepping outside of that box, breaking outside of that mold, feeling almost a little bit outcast in your own sort of family circle, or among people, you know, that you grew up with, as kind of your gift or your interests are expanding and are changing. There's this energy of almost trying to kind of dim these things with that idea of light, trying to kind of contain your light, or to try to fit in with the people around you, being a little bit hesitant of kind of speaking your authenticity and speaking your truth, not really being sure sort of what will come of that. How will people take that? How will you be, you know, received and be interpreted? And the guidance from this ancestor, from this passed on loved one, is don't be afraid to march to the beat of your own drum. You have these gifts or these interests or these abilities for a reason. If you continue to dim your life, you are not your light and your life. You are not making the most of the gift of this life that you have been presented with. A lot of the dissonance or kind of the resistance that you might be experiencing from your family is just a mirror of some fears that they may have. Fears about ways in which things that they were called toward at a soul level, and they were faced with that same kind of point of indecision, to follow these things or to kind of conform. Decisions may have been made. This might have been a family pattern, almost you being kind of the breaker of those chains, somebody who is meant to forge a different kind of link in a different direction, to move off towards your own sort of authentic truth, to break trail from what everyone else has been doing. This could be something that, you know, again, a lot of people have just kind of suppressed this in your family. Maybe this is psychic gifts, you know, spiritual inclinations, kind of this otherness, this otherworldliness, in order to kind of fit in with society, or to, you know, kind of fit in with the status quo of the family. And it's something to where what you're being confronted with is, again, kind of that fear and sort of that regret in these people that they, in their own kind of nature and own individual way, that they did not answer the call of their soul when that was presented to them. And it can feel very scary to kind of move off in your own direction. But again, you have been given this life and these interests and these gifts for a reason. You know, it's at the end of your life, when you come to the end of this incarnation and you are looking back, you will be given kind of this opportunity to inventory the opportunities that you had, the gifts and the attributes that you possessed or that you were given or that had activated in this life. And you will ask yourself, what have you done with that? Did you make the most of your time? Did you make the most of these gifts, or did you squander these opportunities? Did you speak your truth? Did you stand in your own light? Or did you seek to kind of adhere to a path others had carved out for you? And this passed on loved one really wants you to, kind of spare yourself or save yourself from some regret later on in your life, that if you don't act upon these inclinations or this opportunity to, speak your truth, declare yourself, kind of move in your own direction, carve your own path, that this is something that at the end of your life, you may look back as just, these were opportunities that you let slide through your hands, that there was a different kind of life, a beautiful kind of life, a whole wonder and a world of possibility that is ripe for you to experience. You have that power and that ability within you and in your hands to make out of your life anything that you want. What might have resonated for others doesn't necessarily need to resonate for you. And even if your path or your choices are not understood by others, you have been called in a certain direction for a reason. It doesn't need to fit in with the expectations of others. On the other side of kind of disappointment, and this doesn't universally apply to everyone. Some people will be so trapped in their own fear and confusion, and their own kind of the choices that they've made and the regrets that they sit in, that they will never be able to be happy or congratulatory for people who kind of choose a different route. And part of experiencing and being a being of love is to allow people to make that decision for themselves, to expand their perceptions, to kind of, let down any sort of prejudices or let go of any fears, and to, evolve and to advance even in their, ideas of what is right or wrong for other people, or to choose to remain stuck in that. There's a sense here that people in your family will come around eventually, that you're at this crossroads right now where you're really being called to move in your own direction. The time is right. The circumstances are right for manifestation. The energy that you hold and kind of the keys that you have to unlocking a different kind of future for yourself. The time is now to make your mark, to craft your own drum and to march to the beat of that. This may have something to do with music. You may be musically inclined. This may be a kind of a career path or an interest you're wanting to pursue more, and people in your family are sort of discouraging that, encouraging you to get kind of the more practical 9-to-5 job, something reliable, kind of dissuading you from your artistic pursuits or your spiritual pursuits in the interest of something more practical and reliable. But again, there's this indication that, you need to kind of move into this space of answering that internal call, taking these raw materials that you have and these nudges that you are receiving, that you're receiving this for a reason. This is meant to kind of expand and make the most of some capacity within yourself that has been gifted to you for a reason. And in time, while not everyone will kind of come around and see things from your way, and kind of, be very accepting of the choices that you've made, there will be people in your family and relations that you have that don't necessarily understand the vision that you're moving toward. They don't understand the call that you've received at the soul level. But almost what you manifest for yourself through this pursuit of your dreams, through standing in that authenticity, through letting your light shine very brightly and unapologetically, the proof will be obvious to them as far as the choices that you've made and the directions that you've moved in when you are able to kind of garner this abundance for yourself, when you are able to kind of craft a life that you are very satisfied with. The joy that exudes from the inside out when you are in alignment with your purpose will really help to reinforce for some of these people who were kind of doubters or naysayers, that while it might have been an unconventional choice, it was nevertheless the best choice for you, and it actually worked out in the end. There's a sense here again also of you being the one to break some kind of a chain or some kind of a cycle, some kind of a pattern, a tendency to kind of choose the route of fear and playing small and dimming one's light. That may have been a tendency in your family, and you are the one who is supposed to kind of be that way shower to make that other way known, so that for those to come, the future generations, they have an example of kind of multiple paths, multiple options, and it's not so much just kind of this prerequisite of kind of deferring dreams or silencing that voice from within in order to kind of follow and continue upon the steps of others, things that might have worked for others before, but that as times change and as, new individuals are born and kind of new souls are infused into this bloodline, that sort of what is, right and what is normal and what is acceptable, that might need to expand as well. And that you are the one to be kind of that way shower, that holder of the light, the keeper of the light, that creates a different possibility for the legacy of this bloodline and of this family in general. So I'm going to get some kind of direct messages from this passed on loved one, this ancestor, and see what else they want to add to this. Okay, and they say, make plans and focus. You have to be devoted and committed if you want to see the change that you seek. So this really ties in with the idea of forging your own path, getting very serious at this point in time because the energy for manifestation is ripe. Instead of just thinking about things and maybe talking yourself off the ledge of taking a chance out of fear, maybe fear of what others will think, fear of how this will be accepted, that now is the time to kind of silence those voices and to carry forth in whatever ways you are guided to with these plans and moving toward these dreams and desires. And they also say, stop being afraid of getting what you actually desire. You asked for it, so it is yours. Again, that idea of fear holding you back, fear of what other people will think, fear of, maybe being even more ostracized by your family or being rejected by them or, just kind of deviating from what others have done. That you have this power within yourself to really accomplish your dreams, to make some major strides towards that. And the time is now to act. You've allowed fear to hold you back long enough, and now's the time to choose the other route of trust. And they also say your heart chakra needs healing and clearing. What pain still sits with you? So this can tie into the pain of loss that you are still holding on to about this person's passing. This can also tie into pain that you may have experienced based on kind of questioning or rejecting from your family, being kind of ridiculed for who you are and your interests and the dreams that you have. In some way, as much as you may have just tried to remain strong and sort of move beyond all of that, you're harboring a lot of this within you. So an artistic pursuit, maybe something to do with music, might be a good way to sort of tap into the archetypes of these things, of pain and of rejection and of loss, and allow these things to flow through you. Heart chakra meditations may be very kind of crucial at this point in time as well, to help you move beyond some of these feelings of loss that you are still holding on to from this person who, may not be in physical body anymore, but they are still very much a vibrant presence in spirit. They are still very much alive in an energetic sense, and are with you and are guiding you, are sending you signs, are, right there and ready to be, accessed, are open and are willing to kind of develop a relationship with you, a new type of relationship in this state that you now find yourselves, you in the physical body, them occupying the space of spirit. So clearing up some of these kind of wounds of loss and sorrow that you're holding, or at least working to open your heart, can help you to open up more to the presence of this person, as well as your other spirit guides, your other passed on loved ones, to understand and really recognize and feel that while your support of your endeavors might be kind of limited or questionable in the material sense, you have so much support behind you in the spiritual realm. People that are really rooting for you, are cheering you on, are guiding you, are lending you energy in order to kind of push you beyond these barriers of fear so that you can pursue your goals and really, follow your passions and achieve what it is that you are setting out to do and accomplish in this lifetime. And they also say you are being nudged to finish what you started. Stop putting it off, because that completion will unlock the next level for you. So again, another confirmation there of moving beyond any kind of energy of fear that has been holding you back, any sort of doubt. There's a sense of you've gone over the worst case scenarios enough, as much as possible. And now's the time to really turn the volume down on that, hit the mute button on that doubt, or, even the voices of loved ones kind of ringing in your head that are really questioning you and causing you to question yourself. Now's the time to really move forward. That, again, this manifestation potential that you have, something about whatever this pursuit or path is, you're not only unlocking potential for others to come within your family and others who will really encounter you, encounter your work, or encounter your energy as a source of inspiration, but it's something to where there's a greater capacity of joy than you have ever known, that dwells in the arena of you following these goals, living that authenticity, speaking your truth, regardless of how other people kind of receive this or perceive it or understand it. That kind of at this point, it's your mind is kind of getting in the way. It's the doubts, it's the concerns of what other people will think. If there are people who are directly unsupportive of you in your family or, in your social circle, it might be time to kind of distance yourself from those people, not share your plans as much with them, not look to those people as a source of support and guidance, but recognizing kind of the perspective that they are operating from, honoring, that they are coming from a very well-meaning place. They're trying to protect you. They're operating, maybe out of an energy of fear and sort of projecting that onto you, but recognizing that you need to kind of surround yourself with supportive energies. And if you can't find that in your physical world, then definitely tuning into kind of your spirit team and your loved ones in spirit can be that source of support, those cheerleaders, those people who are really rooting for you. Some paths we must kind of walk alone before we align with our soul tribe, with our soul family, with people who understand us, who see us in our authenticity, respect who we are, and value what we have to contribute. And so kind of the longer that you delay at this, you're kind of delaying yourself from the intersection with some very beautiful souls who will resonate with you, who will understand you, who will appreciate who you are and what you have cultivated, what you've created out of your life, and what you have to offer. And they also say, it's okay if it still hurts. Cry and release all that pain. Don't let it sit inside and fester. Release it so you can restore that space with healed energy. So again, this idea about the heart chakra and some loss and pain, some sorrow that you're holding on to, either in regards to this person's passing or again, some kind of rejection or ridicule that you've experienced from those around you, maybe from your family, about your lifestyle, goals and dreams, things that are important to you, your worldview, your perspective, what you want for yourself. It's important to acknowledge these things, to not harbor these things, to not feel that you must carry these around. It's almost like overpacking for a trip and realizing that you have more than you need. You're only going for 3 days, and you've got 4 big pieces of luggage with you. It's time to kind of pare that down, to leave some of that behind, to only take what's necessary with you, the wisdom, the experience, kind of the nuggets of insight, maybe even facets or aspects of these people that are hardworking, or that are loyal, or that are dedicated, or that are honest. Even if it's things you don't want to hear, it's a level of honesty that their criticism represents. These archetypes you can take with you while kind of discarding those words, those doubts, those kind of the questioning that you have sort of encountered from them, leaving all of that behind so that you take the wisdom, as we see with this owl here in the White Witch card, so that you can take that forth with you in the pursuit of your goals, in the pursuit of your dreams. You're at the brink of kind of a major turning of the page in your life. Whatever this call is, whatever this area of your life that you're wanting to kind of bring out of the shadows and into the light, when you do that, when you step more fully into that role or into that identity or into that kind of path or pursuit, there's a lot that will be unlocked for you in terms of a feeling of balance, a feeling of certainty, a feeling of almost coming home, of coming into alignment, a lot of abundance in kind of tangible and sort of intangible ways that is waiting to come to you. You just need to do the work on your part to clear up what's necessary in order to create that space to receive. So I'm going to close this reading for you with some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of somebody, of you, of this person, someone related to this situation, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got S, F, T, I, M, B, P, K, E, R, D, C, N, W, and Y. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Stichtite along with these cards, which I'll take a look at in a minute. This will be the guidance or some of the kind of messages from this ancestor or ancestors, passed on loved ones. So I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a clue of who wants to come through and talk to you today in this reading. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Pentacles. So this is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. 8 of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. 8 of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. 3 of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. So I'm getting the energy of somebody who is a little soft-spoken in life, a very gentle energy, a very kind energy, somebody who might have, it's feeling almost like a grandmother figure, somebody who could have really put on a wonderful holiday spread. Been responsible for kind of all the gatherings, somebody who was really good at baking, at cooking. Their house is always filled with these really beautiful smells, somebody who was very patient Patient with other people, somebody to whom others came to for advice, a person who with this Eight of Wands had these words of wisdom to give, somebody who might have been a person of few words, not somebody who was, prone to gossip or, was very kind of boisterous or kind of wordy in what they would say. But again, these words of wisdom, things that might have even been passed on across the generations, that this person, these kind of cliches or these sayings that just resonated, these things that were very timeless, somebody who always knew the right advice to give, somebody who was very good at being almost a peacemaker, the peacekeeper of the family. Somebody who was very good at conflict resolution, primarily through kind of holding this space, being almost an intermediary between others in the family or even people within the community that might have had difficulties with one another, just difficulties in their life in general. This person could have worked it's almost feeling like some kind of a nurse or a midwife at some point in time, maybe in kind of a rural setting or something that they may have done kind of earlier in their life. And kind of this, again, this very healing energy that this person possesses within them or possessed within them. There may have been a sense too that kind of at the end of their life or at some point in their life, they almost became housebound. Mobility became very difficult for this person. They may have been in a wheelchair or may have had to, may have undergone something with kind of an amputation, something that happened with their legs to where it made it very difficult for them to kind of get around and walk. They may have walked with a cane or a walker or kind of a deterioration of these sort of things. I'm hearing polio, so this could have been somebody who had polio when they were younger, and as they became older, and I'm also hearing arthritis, so something with that could have really sort of diminished this person's ability to kind of get around and to kind of move around. This could have been somebody also in terms of this idea of sort of the holidays and this being a house where everybody gathered. A lot of kind of traditions that were carried down that this person really kept alive. A lot of the things that they made might have been very traditional dishes, either something with culture. For some reason, Holland is really coming through, so that might resonate with some of you, or something to do with kind of Dutch or even Scandinavia or German traditions. So this might have been somebody who immigrated at some point in time or had roots in any of these places, but some kind of traditional dishes from their particular culture that they kept alive, some kind of particular holiday traditions. They may have even been somebody who kept a lot of heirlooms, a lot of things that they had that had been passed down generation to generation. Dishes that had been used by previous generations, particular bits of servingware that they had, that they brought out on special occasions. This could be somebody also, and this is kind of, it's obscure, but it'll apply to somebody, but somebody who made really good iced tea, getting kind of this idea of like a sun tea or something, somebody who kind of almost grew these herbs within their garden, or kind of in an herb garden in their windowsill, for example. And it's almost like people would go over to this person's house to have this kind of cup of tea with them. They knew just the right kind of tea to make to soothe whatever sort of the ailments were of an emotional level or even things of a physical level. This may have even been somebody who practiced some kind of divination, kind of in a folk sense of almost reading tea leaves as kind of maybe a tradition that happened at particular times of the years. People kind of came to this person for this guidance, for this kind of healing, and these, this reassurance that might have been part of the method that this person used. It feels also that they grew a lot of their own food, or maybe had fruit trees or some kind of an orchard that they tended or that they grew. Maybe even somebody who lived on some kind of ancestral or family land where these trees that they were tending, these gardens that they were continuing to kind of nourish, had been planted by, their parents or generations previously. There's a sense of being very attached and tied to the land. So somebody who might have lived kind of in a rural setting, kind of an agrarian setting, or may have come from a very agrarian culture. I'm hearing the South, so somebody in kind of the southern part of the United States, or it's also coming through with Tuscany, so that could be relevant for some of you as maybe a point of origin for this person or where they lived. But again, somebody who was very kind of soft-spoken, very gentle, very wise, somebody who, with this idea of the chariot, might have been an immigrant or somebody who traveled a lot. Maybe in general, maybe in their retirement, they, like to enjoy cruises or almost, kind of trips to national monuments. Somebody who is also someone that would, when family members were kind of in need, this person would almost, if people couldn't come to them, this is someone who would really travel to other people's aid. Somebody who, when there were family members who were sick, people who had had surgeries, people who were, in the hospital, this person was always very dedicated, even to do with friends or people in some kind of like a church group, some kind of a religious group, people in their community. This was the person who would always go and check in on the sick, check in on elderly neighbors, checking on people that were having difficulties, kind of at this point where maybe their physical mobility was sort of compromised. A lot of that check-in might have continued in the form of letter writing. This person could have kept that tradition alive. A lot of pen pals they had, maybe even people from their childhood that they kept in contact via that means throughout their life, or somebody who was very good about kind of these regular phone calls to check in on people, somebody who was always very available, very willing to kind of offer themselves, to give what they could. Somebody who might have been kind of meager means, or might have been on kind of a tight budget, and yet still found a way to give and to provide to others, even if it was just all they were able to give was kind of, being that shoulder to cry on. Somebody who, taught you a lot, you learned a lot of traditions, a lot of things maybe related to kind of folk healing, or things to do with, again, kind of wisdom and insight. Somebody who might have had kind of some deep psychic gifts, and also somebody who was just very healing in terms of their nature, and traditions that were almost passed down through the family of kind of these alternative remedies, these alternative kind of solutions to things. Somebody who might have, as you're kind of talking about things going on, they might have been quick to respond with, this and such root, or that plant, or this flower, or that fruit is really good for that. Just almost offering kind of these bits and advice, and these kind of nuggets of wisdom from times gone by that in our modern society is kind of contrary or outside of the realm of what people typically turn to when it comes to, ailments or kind of distress that they are going through. But that this person, they again carried that sort of knowledge or tradition that they had inherited, that they had been taught, that had been passed down to them from other people. And I'm also seeing here with this Eight of Wands, and it's an archer. Sagittarius might be significant, particularly in this circumstance with this person as well. So I'm going to take a look now and see what is the guidance from this person. What do they want to talk about to you at this point in time? What kind of words of wisdom does this very wise and gentle soul have to share with you? And we've got answer the call, explore, travel, live. Memories. Your memories are like diamonds in the treasure chest of your spirit. More and more memories are arising within you. Remember the happier moments with your loved ones who are here in the spirit world, for neither time nor distance can stop the energy of love that you have for one another. Fire guardian, ignite your passions. Adventure, explorer, and power. So with all this kind of energy of movement here with these, these Vikings, these Nordic people in this boat on the answer the call, and it's talking about travel and exploring. So again, a confirmation there of maybe some Scandinavian descent that might be relevant for you. And that ties in with the energy of movement in the Chariot. And also here we've got explore and explorer. So double confirmation there that this passed on loved one is really telling you to get outside of your comfort zone. If you have been considering relocating or taking some kind of a trip, some kind of a travel, even expanding your horizons in terms of some kind of a new hobby, some kind of a new passion, some kind of a new endeavor, maybe even a new social circle, people that you're feeling guided to kind of move away from, that you aren't really resonating with anymore, things that, at one point in time really lit your fire, really, captivated your attention, and you're not finding the same amount of satisfaction in that. You're being guided to, again, expand those horizons, not to be afraid to try new things, to set out on your own. There's a sense of, there's a wide world out there for you to experience. And there's some kind of a sense of taking your power back, maybe from sort of a fear of branching outside of that comfort zone, or even some kind of an obligation that you have felt to a particular job, to a particular location, to people, keeping yourself and remaining available, almost at kind of the beck and call of other people, or somebody in particular who's maybe very needy or codependent in your life. And it's really kept you from kind of branching out, from expanding yourself out of a fear of, if they need me, I don't want to let them down, or I can't be too far from them, they're too dependent on me, that in some way you've been giving your power away to that. There's something else to experience, for you to experience out there in this world. And there's something also that this other person is meant to kind of stand on their own 2 feet as well. This could relate to some kind of a romantic relationship, but it feels maybe like some other kind of a dynamic that's going on here. Maybe even just, again, kind of this comfort zone, not really wanting to leave your hometown, or, a job that you've taken somewhere that you feel very attached to, but it doesn't necessarily, really spark your interest. It pays the bills. It creates some kind of a sense of stability, or you've been doing it for a long time. But it's not something which really makes you feel very excited about life. Again, a sense of a wide world that's out there, that you have this opportunity. You can either choose to kind of remain in the same sort of closed-in little environment, in the same kind of predictable job, around the same kind of people that maybe take more than they give back to you, or just living a life where you're kind of looking from the inside out, where you're seeing this big world around you. Maybe you are very drawn to exploring other cultures. You like to watch travel shows, and thinking and just kind of deferring. Oh, I'll go see that at another point in time. It's not the right time. I have too much else going on. I don't want to travel, alone. I want to wait till I have a companion, or I'll wait till I retire. And it's this energy of almost deferring these things. There's a sense of the time is really now to do that. That there's something to be learned, or something to really be ignited in you through this enriching of yourself by getting out of your comfort zone, whether it's taking that trip you've been thinking of, whether it's putting in resumes for a job that is outside the field you are currently working in, maybe something that will require you to relocate to a different town, to move out of your hometown, to move to a different state or a different country. You may be really tied to memories of experiences where you've kind of stepped out of your comfort zone and you've really faltered, or that, kind of things didn't work out as planned. Maybe you put yourself out there in order to only be rejected, for example, and that sting has kind of remained with you. It's kept you very in this enclosed kind of world, almost this biodome that you live in, to where it's really, you've been hesitant to kind of take a chance. Maybe memories of, other people from your lineage, stories that have been passed down of people who, really took a risk, took a chance, stepped outside of the box, maybe made risks as far as investments are concerned, or people who set out to, open their own business in order to really, experience failure in that sense, to experience the collapse of that. And it's been this fear that you've almost carried with you of not wanting to do that, maybe choosing the safe and predictable route so that you're not risking so much. But in a sense, you're not making the most of your potential. You're not making them, taking your personal power, and you're not leaning into this energy of trust that, even if it's a bumpy road and things don't go smoothly, even if you encounter rejection and you encounter failures, you've still tried, you've still tread the path least traveled, that there's a different part of life that you are not necessarily seeing, or that is open and available to you. There's something waiting to inspire you, maybe somebody that you are meant to meet as you step outside of this comfort zone, somebody that you have, maybe known in a past life, somebody who it's really feeling that your passed on loved ones, this person in particular, are almost trying to play matchmaker with you and somebody. And this could be somebody in a romantic capacity. This could be somebody that you meet that becomes a very close friend to you, somebody who, is a source of professional networking. And it's almost you're getting these nudges to move in a certain direction or to try something, to go somewhere, and you've kind of been denying that or questioning that or being a little bit hesitant about that. And it's this energy of these people behind the scenes, both for you and this other person, are really fighting to orchestrate this intersection. And this passed on loved one is really encouraging you, answer that call, because there's something larger, there's a greater purpose to it that you can't necessarily see at this point in time, that there's a richness that you are meant to kind of fill your life with, that the world that you've created for yourself, there's so much more potential out there. And that's not to negate the importance or, kind of call you to cherish any less, the people that you love, the people that you surround yourself with, the life that you've built for yourself. But it's a sense of there's something more. There's something more that you are meant to see and experience and do, not to defer and not to wait, because any number of circumstances can happen in the interim. And the more we keep deferring these dreams that we have or these plans that we have for tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, sometimes that tomorrow doesn't come, or other kind of things will arise. There's a sense of either the circumstances are ripe to kind of explore this, to take a step in this direction now, or if you feel a lot of pressure and you're not seeing a lot of wiggle room, then you're encouraged to make some kind of a plan, make some kind of a space, take some kind of an inventory, really seek to evaluate what are you investing your time in, who are you investing your time in, are these things really filling your cup in the same way that you provide to them, or is this kind of a lack of reciprocity, is it a drain, is it very one-sided? Create that space for yourself, maybe even create a vision board, get a little more clear about kind of some of these dreams, the things you want to see and experience and do. If this isn't travel in a physical kind of sense, this can be traveling outside of your comfort zone, or, into kind of breaking into a new career, something new that you want to do for a living, some kind of a passion that you want to turn into a profession. And this passed on loved one is really encouraging you to, get creative with how you manifest this. Set your intentions, put that out there, speak these words out into the universe in the form of mantras, or even in the form of, again, just journaling about this, doing research, clipping out pictures, making a vision board, taking time to daydream about this. Invest your time and attention and efforts into that, even in an energetic sense. And by doing this consistently, you can really help to empower these visions, empower these dreams, to ignite these dreams, so that the way is made clear for you, so that the universe is able to respond to your desire with opportunities, and with things, people, places, and things that can align with that. There are memories that you are still meant to make with other people whose names you don't even know yet, whose faces are still unfamiliar to you. As much as you might feel very stagnant and, kind of limited in your capacity, or sort of lackluster about the opportunities that you have around you, really kind of putting things in perspective and understanding that you may be looking at things from too small of a lens. Expand your net, expand your perception, expand these dreams. You may even be dreaming too small for yourself. The goals you are setting, you have so much more potential than that. Your passion is your gift, and you have an ability to, really exceed your own expectations. And again, kind of any kind of failures you've experienced in the past, or naysayers, or, things that didn't necessarily work out, now's the time to kind of re-strategize, re-plan, to put some focus into that, to making some kind of forward momentum. Try not to get bogged down in the immediate circumstances. Take these things into account. Work with what you have and the materials that you have available to you, both raw materials and kind of these emotional materials, these psychic materials, and just a little bit every day. Chip away at these goals. If it's saving up money, put aside a little bit from every paycheck. And little by little, as you're doing this, gradually you will see that kind of that goal, what you need to reach, what you need to feel comfortable, what you need to, invest to take that trip, or to, kind of cover those relocation costs, those moving expenses. You'll get to that goal a lot sooner than you may have imagined. That once you kind of set that ball in motion, you'll be surprised at kind of what answers that call, the ways in which spirit responds to the intentions that you are setting, that you are following up with concise actions to move in the direction of your dreams. So I'm going to get a little more direct messages from this passed on loved one and see what else do they want to tell you, group 2. Okay, and they say, your third eye chakra needs to be balanced. Enjoy a few minutes of yoga to help with this imbalance. So this can really speak about vision. And again, maybe you are dreaming too small for yourself, or you're focusing too much on obstacles. You're allowing yourself to be haunted by other instances, maybe in relation to whatever this dream is that you have, things were kind of thwarted in the past or sort of fell through. You're allowing that disappointment or defeat, or maybe even just the fear of that, kind of that preemptive fear without any kind of basis in reality. You're allowing these things to kind of thwart yourself. You're standing in your own way. By opening that third eye chakra even more, you're able to expand your vision, expand your perception. Where you see walls, you will find apertures, or the ways and means will be made available to you to create a window, an opening to kind of fast tracking to that goal, or expanding your reality in whatever way that resonates. And they also say, eliminate everything that gives you conflicted feelings. It's time to embrace the things that resonate with your soul. So another confirmation there of doing some kind of an inventory, clearing some space within your energy and within your life, so that the universe has room to provide you with things that really expand your sense of joy, that enrich the experiences that you have in your life, creating that space for the abundance that you are seeking in terms of experience, in terms of the things you want to manifest, or just kind of a wider kind of reach or touch upon life, an expansion of the life that you have for yourself. It starts from within. It starts from with what you are investing your time in, even investing in fears or attention on memories of kind of things that didn't work out for yourself or others. When you eliminate that, when you eliminate kind of feeding into that current, you are taking back your power, and you are really enabling yourself to then be able to invest in what you do want to experience, focusing on that in order to draw it to you. And they also say, tell them that you love them and they matter to you. We all want to hear that we matter sometimes. So there may be somebody at a distance from you that you've been in some kind of a conflict with. This could be a family member. This could be a friend. This could just be somebody from your life, somebody from your past. And that can really be kind of this energy of blockage, of, kind of this stalemate, this stubborn energy. And if you're feeling if that's resonating with you and you're feeling guided, now might be the time to try and make amends with this person. Maybe even somebody at a distance with you as you're feeling very kind of remote and very alone, as you're kind of contemplating expanding your life. Maybe reaching out to people that are a source of comfort to you, people that you've always felt very inspired by or very safe in their presence. Touching upon those energies, sharing that energy of gratitude can help to magnetize in you all different kinds of abundance as well. And they also say, you're about to meet the reason why you couldn't settle. So that's a confirmation right there of your spirit team really wanting to orchestrate you getting outside of your comfort zone in some way, because there's somebody that you are supposed to meet. This could be a romantic partner that either you will meet directly on your travels, or even just, in the process of relocating or expanding your horizons, expanding what your day looks like, what you do, what your hobbies are, what you invest your time in. It may not be in those immediate circumstances, but when you create that and generate that energy of expansion and change, it feels that it will bring you into alignment. You're redirecting, you're recharting your course to put you into alignment with somebody that your spirit team and your passed on loved ones and your angels are really trying to work very hard with these nudges and these kind of signs as calls that you have. there's a greater purpose to it. There's somebody you are about to meet. And this can even relate to some kind of a professional opportunity, or even just kind of a lack of intimate friendships that you've had, people that you really haven't found anyone you're able to connect with. And this can really talk about somebody in that capacity that you are going to align with in the very near or somewhat immediate future. Once you kind of create this space within you, sort of expand your perceptions, expand your horizons, and really start pursuing those goals and kind of branching out from your comfort zone. And they also say it's okay if you haven't figured it all out yet. That is the beauty of a journey. You get to decide where to go to next. So more confirmation of that energy of travel. And this can also talk about the baby steps that you may need to take to just kind of plan things, to start to save up slowly, to build up slowly, to do research towards these things. Saying these mantras, investing that energy of dreaming, of daydreaming, of, really sitting in that, soaking all that up, that feeling of satisfaction. When you reach your goals, when you reach your dreams, when you go to that place that you've always wanted to go to, when you relocate, when you get that dream job that you've been really wanting and hoping for, to really enjoy the process where you are right now, not focus so much on an exact plan of how you're going to meet that destination head on. Keep that point, that horizon in your mind, and really, work with with what you have in front of you, taking small steps, gradual steps, day by day, trusting in that process, that if you set the intention and you invest action and effort into that, the universe will respond to that in kind, will meet you halfway, will really help to open up, new ideas to you, new possibilities to you, infuse you with inspiration, or even with resources that kind of bring you closer to that destination point. So I'm going to close this reading for you with some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you, or maybe this person that came through, or somebody else involved in this situation, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got Q, D, T, W, S, H, Z, K, X, E, N, F, R, and U. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Carnelian along with these cards, which I will take a look at in a minute. This will be some guidance, some messages from your ancestor, your passed on loved one. So I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a feel of who wants to come through in this reading and convey some messages for you. Okay, so we have the Empress, which is Taurus and Libra. Death, which is Scorpio. Three of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Moon, which is Pisces and Cancer. And Nine of Pentacles, which is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So I'm getting a strong feminine or female energy that might have been a mother or some kind of a strong grandmother figure, a matriarch of a family, somebody who may have been a widow for quite some period of time, somebody who may have been kind of wealthy and respected either within the community or, you know, within the family. This person held a lot of power. They could have had a rather large estate or a legacy that, you know, kind of they were in control of, that then would have been kind of divided or sort of siphoned off then to multiple people. It feels like something where this may have been kind of a large family. And so again, one kind of central kind of matriarchal figure with maybe many children. I'm hearing 4 children and 10 grandchildren. So this, you know, take those numbers as they resonate for you. But just a lot of kind of this sort of centralized, you know, wealth or kind of nest egg sort of then being kind of divided down among all those people. So something that was started off very, you know, kind of large or substantial for one person, kind of then filtering off to others. There's a sense too of this person being some kind of a benefactor to others in their lifetime. This may have been somebody who, you know, was needing to send money to relatives kind of remotely throughout their life, somebody that people really came to for money. Somebody who might have felt very isolated, or that people only really appreciated them or loved them for what they had to give, whether that was based in reality or that was just kind of their perception. Somebody who it feels was not a very emotional person, somebody who, you know, may have really shown their affections through kind of gift giving or through helping out people, you know, in their family that kind of needed it. This feels like somebody who might have, you know, been very stoic, had kind of a hard life, a difficult life, a lot of loss. They may have undergone the death of some children or even some grandchildren, a lot of death in the family prior to this person passing away, to where it kind of was a test of their strength, or it caused them to kind of create this hardness, this kind of almost a shell within them, somebody that are around them, someone that might have been kind of very secretive, kept their emotions very much hidden to them. Somebody who, after their death, when everyone was sort of going through, you know, their personal effects and their personal belongings, there might have been a lot that was uncovered about this person, either through their early life, maybe even the death of some of these children, or even the sense of this person maybe having been a widow at some point in time before they married, you know, who would have been like the grandfather figure in this circumstance, or the father figure in this circumstance, some kind of evidence of that, or the death of a child, or maybe multiple children, that they had undergone, that was not something that was talked about. It was just kind of something that this person kind of carried within their heart in life, but then in death, you know, people were able to kind of uncover uncover this, a lot of this mystery, maybe even a whole kind of life that this person had elsewhere, something that had really gone on, you know, abroad. Maybe even this person having come from a very wealthy background in order to really, you know, experience some kind of loss in some capacity with that. This could have been some kind of financial collapse that had led to kind of the ruin of an estate. This may have been something where it's coming through strongly that this person maybe grew up in some kind of a war-torn country, or in some kind of a situation of conflict where they came from a very affluent background and were almost forced to flee that, to leave a lot of that behind. There's a sense too of this person being a sole survivor in that capacity, maybe having to really set out on their own. You know, they're the only one that got out of this circumstance, or the only one that, you know, kind of got out of that with their life. This may have even been something that was known family history, but it's something that this person did not talk about in life. It was kind of these very painful memories, a lot of destruction in their past or in their early life that they kept very much a secret. Somebody who was very strong, kind of the backbone of this family in a lot of ways, financially, or even just as kind of the pillar of strength that they represented, from what was known or even what was kind of inferred about some kind of a past or a background that this person had that they never spoke about, or spoke very little of, gave few details about. There's a sense of that being very tangible, that they held a lot inside, that they remained strong, they persevered, they survived, they overcame some obstacles, and still managed to kind of come out on top, or to really rebuild themselves, you know, to kind of end up in a circumstance that was so much better than something, you know, as a contrast to kind of all this energy of sort of loss and kind of downfall that had occurred in their past, or had occurred in their lineage and in their family. This could be somebody with the moon that is also very psychic, somebody that almost from a distance there was kind of a telepathy maybe that existed between you and this person. Some kind of a deep energetic bond where you really were able to perceive kind of periods when this person was in distress, or vice versa. They knew just when to kind of reach out to you, just when to call you, just when to make contact with you. It might have been almost eerie, the way in which they sort of anticipated things, or may have said things that were very much what you were thinking, or just kind of this alignment between the both of you. You may have also made kind of a pact with this person, that in death they would reach out to you, they would give you signs, they would make themselves known to you from the other side. This could have been somebody who, you know, again, with kind of that idea of being very almost psychic. They could have been somebody who, you know, also had mediumship ability, somebody who had a strong connection with the other side, with passed on loved ones, somebody who was able to really, you know, see spirits and might have been very open about that, somebody who may have at various points in time been involved with spiritualism, the conducting of seances, had attended these things, were interested in these matters, you know, believed in reincarnation, were really, and that could have been quite a contrast to almost, it feels almost like a very kind of prim and proper exterior, somebody who might have been, you know, just kind of respected in the community, or you know, almost sort of very conservative in terms of the way that outside people kind of looked at them, or kind of the impression that they gave to people. And then there was this whole other side of them that was maybe a little bit sub rosa. It was something that only people in the kind of intimate family knew about. It was something that they didn't go out and announce, but it was well known. This person is psychic. They have, you know, kind of these interactions with spirits and with passed on loved ones. This is somebody who's, you know, kind of into mediumship. They have abilities, they have gifts in this capacity, but outside of that kind of family nexus, or even just a very small segment of society, maybe a group of friends that they had, a collection of other kind of people, it's feeling like other kind of older women who are their contemporaries, a group that they almost got together with, maybe something that they were involved in when they were younger, and these people continued to kind of stay in touch, keep in contact about these things. And aside from that, it's a very different impression that they would give to, say, the average person that knew them, people that knew of them professionally, or even people that knew of them financially, that there was this whole kind of interior world, this kind of hidden world about this person, again, involving kind of mediumship or seances. Somebody who visits you perhaps a lot in dreams, who you maybe experience a lot of kind of activity in your home at night, just different sort of things happening, or a sense of really feeling this person's energy at night, the sense that they could be watching you as well. If you're near this person's picture or portrait, there could be a sense that they are kind of watching you. You may have a significant picture of them that you keep with you, so that they are always watching over you, and there's a sense of them becoming almost like this guardian angel and making themselves known, honoring that promise to make themselves known to you in death. So a relationship that continues, this almost telepathic, this psychic, this spiritual bond that continues between you and this person in death. And it might be something that you maybe had kind of questioned at first, or sometimes you question, or it's something where it's a little bit frightening, this idea of maybe activity that happens at night, or things that you hear, you see, and whatnot. But this reading can serve as this confirmation that it is this person. It is this almost this grandmother figure, this mother figure, this strong matriarchal presence from your family. It's this person honoring that promise. They are reaching you from beyond the grave. They are making contact with you. The signs that you're getting, the little noises that you're hearing, the sense of being watched, or not being alone even when there's no one else in the room, that it is this person coming through, making contact with you, making themselves known to you in kind of this more subtle way that you now have of communicating, a sense of them really reaching out and being very persistent in that energy, wanting you to really acknowledge that, and understanding that they are really here to help you learn this new language, this new way of communicating through signs and, through energy that the two of you now have at your disposal, as opposed to in life when it was, you go visit this person, they come see you, you call each other, you write letters, whatever your means of exchange was with them at that point in time, that it has now evolved, it has now changed into something more subtle, but nonetheless that bond between you, that psychic bond, has remained strong. So I'm going to take a look and see now, what does this person want to tell you? What kind of guidance or messages do they have for you today? And we have reconnect with Mother Earth, plant, garden, harvest, trust. While your logical mind is dictating a supposedly clear direction, your soul's inner guidance is urging you to follow an alternative path. The logical path may be one that you consider safe and more familiar, but you could be missing out on boundless opportunities and so much more. Druid, hold the space. Life giver, earth. And serenity. So, first of all, with this, a confirmation right there of some kind of a grandmother figure, or even kind of a mother figure with this sort of older woman here on this card, and that reference to sort of Mother Earth and, all this kind of green energy. This can confirm somebody who was this mother figure for you, maybe somebody from your matrilineal side of the family, or again, this can even just be literally your mother or a grandmother. But this is really talking as well about some kind of an activation, some kind of an expansion that this person is really trying to help you achieve. All of these cards have green in them. They all relate to both the heart chakra and also abundance. It feels that this person in life was able to really cultivate a lot out of nothing. This person might have literally been the phoenix from the ashes. There may have been many circumstances where they went from being on top to really having to pick themselves back up from the bottom, at least one time, substantially, perhaps many times. This person was very skilled in life and continues to be very skilled in the attraction and cultivation of abundance. There is something that they wish to help you with, some kind of dreams that you have had, some kind of a pursuit or a goal that you have been endeavoring towards. This in some way involves, with kind of all this very wild and lush and kind of green and sort of plant energy, this is really talking about rewilding yourself. This person wants you to really evaluate what goals you have set for yourself, and to really see, is this in alignment with your highest good? Is this your true calling? Is this what your soul is screaming towards you to do? Or are you playing small with your life in some way? Some seeds that you may have planted earlier, at an earlier point in time, and you've been nurturing, may have yielded something to up to a certain point in time, but it is now taking a lot more effort on your part to kind of see some results from that. And it may be time to kind of abandon some of these plans, to allow some of these things which you have grown to kind of wither of their own devices and to just kind of organically fall away. It's this energy of almost survival of the fittest. You're needing to go through and kind of cull some things. There's a sense of you stretching yourself too thin. You have too many irons in the fire. It's time at this point to really pivot, to really prioritize the ways in which you are almost stretching yourself very thin in terms of your emotional capacity, in terms of maybe you are overworking, you're over-investing in, again, tending seeds which have maybe yield their maximum capacity, or they are seeds that weren't very hardy or healthy to begin with. And this is no criticism of you, it's just the circumstances. This person is really applauding you for the efforts you've made up to this point, but it's time to go back to the drawing board. It's time to reevaluate. It's time to take a look at the garden that you've created for yourself and see, what are you investing in that is maybe choking out some other goals and dreams that you have that are wanting to flourish, that are wanting to really come online or grow in a more substantial way for yourself. Something that you're doing is it's really robbing yourself of peace of mind. You're over stressing about things. You're over worrying about things. You may also be kind of over watering some of these seeds. There's a sense here of, you need to allow things to develop organically and in their own time. You may be putting too much attention and too much focus on something you've been trying to manifest to the point where you're almost suffocating it. You need to kind of give it some space to breathe. You need to redirect your focus onto self-care, onto yourself, onto seeing, what other maybe areas of your garden of your life have you been neglecting? What other relationships have you been neglecting? Maybe this is relationships with family. Maybe this is relationships with, a mother figure specifically that you kind of you've not been spending as much time with this person. This person maybe has a lot of wisdom to impart to you. Somebody who still, is living in a physical sense, or somebody who, is just they don't need to necessarily be a mother or a literal kind of biological female. This can be somebody that just holds like a feminine energy, kind of a receptive energy, somebody who's very intuitive, whether they are male or female. Some figure in your life that you may need to turn to at this point in time to kind of nurture that bond, spend time around this person, exchange energies with this person, both to feed and nurture that relationship, and also because there's something to be learned from that you can then kind of carry over. There's some kind of an inspiration or some kind of words of wisdom that this person will have for you that will make this other endeavor, it will put it in a greater perspective. It will help to make sense. It will help you to find a way through kind of clearing all this clutter and clearing away these weeds. By redirecting your focus, you give these other things that you've invested and you've planted and you've watered and you've filled them with the sunshine of your attention, but it's almost been too much. There needs to be time to kind of allow these things to germinate of their own volition, of their own free will. And the things which are kind of left after this period of redirecting your focus are the things which you will know then to continue to focus on, because then you're seeing some fruits, you're seeing some yield. The things which fall away, which kind of wither of their own devices, they've served their purpose. There's nothing more to accomplish from that, or the energy and effort that you expend into holding space for those dreams and to kind of holding these things up. It's almost the idea of kind of a lattice, that you're operating as this lattice and you're holding these things and you're just encouraging them, you're stretching them up. You're using so much of your own energy to kind of prop these things up that it's at the expense of your own kind of personal well-being. You're stretching yourself very thin. It's almost diluting the intensity and power of your ability to manifest your life-giving abilities, because so much of your effort is being put into kind of holding something together that is trying to fall apart, that has served its purpose, or that is, not meant to kind of move with you into this next phase or chapter. Again, no fault upon you. This person really wants you to know to continue planting your seeds, spreading those tendrils out, kind of applying your efforts anywhere, and you'll be amazed at what seeds take and what seeds sort of fall away. The ones that fall away and wither, again, this is no kind of fault on you or your ability to nurture and kind of germinate your dreams. It's just things that maybe the time is not right for them. Maybe these are things that in the future you can reapproach, but the conditions have changed, or even something within yourself has changed. Maybe something has been awakened within you. You've been going through some kind of upgrades, getting a lot of downloads. Your vibration has shifted, and what you have fed and fostered up to this point, that is shifting as well. The effect you are having, the intensity of your energy may be too much for some of these things. It may not be a vibrational match anymore for what you've been investing in and growing and building, and it's time to just let that go. There are other things which have kind of been neglected, or which you've kind of been keeping on the shelf or keeping dormant, which are wanting to really spark and awaken. There's something within you which wants to blossom. The time is ripe for that. It's a time for transformation, to reevaluate your goals, reevaluate your dreams, and what it is that you are investing in. So that this next phase of your life can really feed you in the same way in which you feed it. It almost feels that whatever you'd been investing in it up to this point in time was almost a trial run. It was you really coming to this deep understanding of your ability to kind of nurture your dreams, to really see the law of attraction in action. And that you've achieved some kind of goal, you've achieved some kind of success or some kind of an abundance, but that it's almost plateaued. And again, that was kind of a trial run. It was just for you to kind of get your footing in that sense, to really start to feel in and understand this aspect of yourself, this ability of yourself. And now's the time to really nurture some other things, some dreams or goals that you had kind of deferred, or that you had maybe not paid attention to, you had overlooked, or you hadn't really felt that the time was right. Maybe there was a lack of confidence in these things. But there's a sense of some signs that this person is giving you, some kind of nudges that you are getting from this person, or some kind of a call that you have within yourself to really get back to basics, to really kind of start from scratch, start fresh, reevaluate, replan, and kind of move in a different direction, or apply your efforts into something else. The time is ripe for that, to trust in that. Trust in the power of new beginnings. Walk with faith and not with fear in the direction of your dreams. And while you may witness or be able to experience or be a little bit frightened at kind of what falls away, kind of the loss that happens when you take your focus off of something that you've just been laser focused on and you've been nurturing it and growing it. Trust that, just like with plants, there's a growing season and then there's a dying back season. And in the springtime, then this renewal happens. Even things that kind of fall away, you may be surprised in the future kind of what sprouts from that. Almost that regrowth that then occurs when you've redirected your focus is more bountiful, it's more abundant, it's stronger, it's more lush than what you had experienced or achieved up to this point. That now is the time to shift the focus on something else. Plant some new seeds, tend some new seeds, and allow what you set in motion to kind of take its course as it will, to either thrive and continue, or to kind of redevelop or spread into a new capacity, or allowing that to kind of fall away or die back, so that it creates space in your life and in your energy for all of this new lush abundance that wants to come in. This person really wants to help you with abundance, with kind of cultivating prosperity for yourself in whatever way that means. This can relate to love. This can relate to joy. This can relate to, physical prosperity and abundance, that this person wants to assist you with that. They are, again, in life, they were very adept at that, in taking something that was very small or overlooked or even kind of a small beginning, taking a pile of kind of ash and becoming that phoenix that rises out of that, creating something very glorious out of just kind of a seed of beginning. And that ability that this person has, they have not lost that in death. They are able to really help you. They want to partner with you in this. They are expressing themselves as one of your primary spirit guides at this point in your life, basically since their passing and moving forward. And they're very excited to co-create with you, to work with you toward creating these dreams, creating a life that is abundant and that is satisfactory and, very kind of joyous for you, a sense of accomplishment. They see the potential in you, and they're saying you almost don't see it in yourself, or you're looking in the wrong direction, that there's all this other kind of, these doors of abundance. There are these ripe seeds within you that need to be nurtured, need to be tended. And when you do that, when you shift your focus, you'll be very amazed at kind of what grows from that. So I'm going to get some more direct messages from this person and see what else do they want to tell you, group 3. Okay, they say you are divinely protected. Anyone that tries you, tries us. So that is that matter-of-fact energy that was coming through with this matriarchal figure. And they are really letting you know that, your seeds of ideas are safe. It is safe to expand beyond your comfort zone. It is safe to move in a new direction. Things that you might have been very guarded about or very protective of or very uncertain, not wanting to really let these dreams out into the light of day, or, very uncertain about if these things had the strength to really, withstand kind of the storms and the criticisms and kind of the turbulence of the world. This passed on loved one, this ancestor, is letting you know that they and the rest of your spirit team, the rest of your passed on loved ones and ancestors, are there almost shielding these seeds. They're this protective barrier, both around you and around your endeavors. Having that confidence to, again, walk in the direction of faith and trust that some more abundance, more than you have experienced and more than you can imagine, waits for you on the other side of taking a chance. To continue to just expend yourself and put all of your effort and attention into something that is just, it's becoming increasingly difficult to sustain, that is really depleting you, that you are safe to kind of branch out, to try something new, to move in another direction, and to shift your focus. They also say you are never alone, my dear. Even in the darkest hour on the coldest night, we are right by your side. So again, confirmation of that energy of nighttime and this person really trying to make contact with you at night, coming to you a lot in dreams, making their presence known in a variety of ways to kind of fulfill that pact or that agreement that they would, reach you on the other side from the other side of the veil. And there's a sense also of, again, this kind of co-creation. This person wants to help you in kind of creating this new form of abundance for yourself, or furthering the abundance that you have generated for yourself up to this point in time. If it feels like a very daunting task that you are faced with, call upon this person and the rest of your ancestors and passed on loved ones. They want to offer you their support and their guidance, their wisdom and their energy to help fuel these endeavors and to reinstill your confidence. That you have, a very great team of individuals and souls who are supporting you in the quest to reach your dreams. And they also say your third eye chakra needs to be balanced. Enjoy a few minutes of yoga to help with this imbalance. So this really ties into vision, that you're looking in the wrong direction. You're focusing on things that are meant to fall away or that need some time to be unwatched. They need time to really manifest and germinate on their own. Something that you are really maybe also questioning as well in terms of the signs that you are getting from this person, something that you are perceiving, something that you perceive about yourself. You need to open that and expand that perception, trust in what it is that you are feeling, the visions that you have for a future. No dream that you have is out of reach, and none of it is too big or too, outside of what you are deserving or capable capable of. And so, you know, focusing on that third eye chakra, trusting in the visions that you get, the nudges that you get, the inclinations that you get, what you are sensing and feeling and perceiving around you, can help to cultivate that energy of trust, that vibration of trust, so that you recognize these nudges, these kind of little hidden passageways or these shortcuts to reaching this level of abundance that this person and others from your lineage and your spirit team that they want to help you with. And they also say your financial abundance is near. Hold on just a little longer. You will be taken care of, my dear. So great confirmation there with all that green energy, that abundance energy. You know, prosperity for yourself in a variety of ways, most specifically some kind of a financial abundance, some kind of an endeavor that you have been considering and you've just been deferring, or you're right at the brink of taking that action, that this person has helped you with your abundance up to this point in time and they want to help you more. There's a new path. There's something that's waiting for you, some kind of an inspiration that you have that you really haven't set forth upon that yet because of some kind of doubt or uncertainty, or again, too many of your resources are being taken or tapped by these other kind of things or something else that you're investing in. So again, that guidance to just kind of let some of this other stuff alone, leave it alone to kind of grow as it will for a while, leave it to tend to itself, or let it go altogether, let it go to seed, let it become fallow, let it kind of die back or kind of fall away from your life in order to have more of those psychic and emotional and kind of physical resources, those energetic resources to invest in something, some kind of a call or nudge that you have that this person wants to help you with, in which they are indicating will yield prosperity and abundance that is beyond what you are experiencing up to this point in time, what you've been able to cultivate for yourself, and what you can even imagine. That whatever this endeavor is, it will be more successful than you could imagine. So they are strongly encouraging you to move in that direction. And they also say you are going to get everything you prayed for, so walk like you already got it. So again, this strong indication to move in the direction of these dreams, this thing that you've been called to do, you've been wanting to do, and you've been very hesitant to do. It will work out so much better than you could have imagined. You have a lot of support, including this person who feels to be definitely a master manifester when they were in their physical life, and those abilities continue with them in death. They want to help you with this. They want to, imbue you with some of this spirit. They are there to be called upon to really assist you with this, to support you with this. They are strongly, protecting you and guiding you, giving you signs, giving you those nudges, letting you know that you're not alone, to keep up, keep pressing, keep moving forward. A future of abundance and prosperity that not only meets your dreams but exceeds them in a lot of ways. This can be tangible prosperity and abundance, or even kind of the intangible kind of wealth of satisfaction, the wealth of joy and being in an alignment with our soul purpose. All of this waits for you on the other side of kind of redirecting your focus and kind of shifting course, rerouting yourself in the direction that you are being guided toward. There's a beautiful future waiting there for you. And so, taking the steps, even if these are small steps, even if it's just baby steps, a little chunk of time you carve out every day, that more and more, time you devote to that. Starting somewhere, starting very immediately, starting small if you must, but taking that action, starting to kind of direct your focus onto something else, something that you're being called or moved to do. And this passed on loved one is letting you know that this will succeed in ways that will really blow your mind. It's part of your destiny, it's part of your path, and it's something they are very excited to help you with, and are right there with you, kind of walking with you hand in hand every step of the way. So I'm going to close this reading for you with some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, somebody else involved in this situation, just whatever comes through for you. We've got M, B, P, V, H, Y, K, L, G, T, C, S, A, D, and W. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.